the fog of war. Someone pointed out that once you have two people in a room, the politics and the power struggles begin. I don't know. I'm too lazy to look up who was first credited with making that observation, but spend any time in corporate America and you'll see that to be true. Heck, these days, spend any time on a social media app and you'll see this play out as influencers try to assert their dominance, or at least their significance, in a constant barrage of ever increasingly bizarre displays of whatever that they've determined is their platform. But I don't live on social media. Plus, there's a constant stream of commentary on it that I can hardly think to add anything to it. Instead, what I want to share is the fact that long before social media, there was another bubble in which this age-old drama played out. That bubble is a template that gets replicated in a lot of places, even starting with children trying to play together. My specific interest is a place where grown-ass adults go to murder their dreams and the dreams of others, the workplace. I can only wonder what some of these companies actually want their employees to achieve. The fog of war is thick and confusing and often makes employees feel like they are fighting against their employers rather than working with them. But corporations are made up of people, and regardless of what the Supreme Court says, a corporation itself is not a person. Yet that concept has been eagerly adopted by those people that actually run and control these corporations. Far too often, the public persona of a company is just that, a persona. As if the company itself decided what it wanted to be and made a statement for all the world to see. I find that I fall into that trap too. For example, at the start of this paragraph, I said, I can only wonder what some of these companies actually want, as if a company can have wants. I mean, it's both personified in institutions and then at the same time dehumanizing it away from the individuals that actually operate it, as if somehow the company can do wrong, but the people, well, they're not to blame for what the company does. All right, but enough about that. Let's get back to the fog of war. What is a fog of war? Well, Wikipedia has a nice definition, which I'll summarize as uncertainty of situation and circumstances. So while you might not be able to relate to the idea of a war and all of its complexities, what you can relate to is uncertainty of situation and circumstance, especially in the workplace. So it shouldn't take you long to, reflect back on your own work history to find instances where, you were asked to do something that seemed nonsensical in the moment, only to find out later that you were given a piece of a much larger endeavor, but without context. In fact, there are probably more instances where you've been called into an all hands on deck or company-wide mandatory meeting and told something that is clearly that's been in the works for a long time and materially affects your job or your tasks or your benefits. Perhaps it was an outrageous claim as to the company's success or their financial stability. And in some cases, you find out that a project maybe that you've been pouring your heart and soul into is being canned. And months worth of effort are being abandoned for reasons that aren't altogether clear. It could at this point render scathing judgment on the leadership of these organizations. And as much as that might be entertaining, it won't be too informative. What I should do is provide some analysis on what usually motivates this behavior and the way that it impacts you as a member and a participant of these organizations.